Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Babe, the Bitcoin and Blockchain Evolution. I am, of course, Sarah Herring with Matt Davio, whichever you guys think is the right way. I'm going with Davio. And we are super lucky to be joined today by Robby Schwertner. You probably will know him as CryptoRobby. Robby runs a fantastic blog. He's got all kinds of stuff going on in the crypto space. And just scrolling through last week, some of the posts he's put up, it's super interesting, super good stuff. And as we talked about a little bit before we started, Robby's also actively engaged in making sure that the projects that he's supporting also have, you know, some larger reaching social implications, some things that are, you know, making mankind a little bit better. And he's got a great hashtag, which I think we should all start pushing forever. Hashtag. Why don't you tell them all about it, Robby?
Sarah, thank you very much. Yeah. Actually, my focus in crypto world is not to make money, to make billions, get rich. I have everything. I have my house, I have a car, and I'm quite happy. But what I want to know is to know about blockchain. What is it about? I was so excited when I 3 years ago started dealing with that, and it made me so much. I saw so much changes possible in this society, and that made me also to think about what can blockchain do for the people? How can this technology change the society? We have some developments with internet where we saw, okay, that's good. People are connected. 20 years ago, this started, and now we have a new wave coming. That's what I see. Yeah, I see very clear. We have a new way of linking people by not only transferring information, but assets, maybe cryptocurrencies, maybe tokens. We don't know yet, but we have a new way of linking people. And that's very nice.
Hey, Robby, you said 3 years ago there was something. What was it in your life that triggered like this opening, this awakening for you? What was it that happened?
Matt, it was like, I'm coming from the energy field, so energy research, energy distribution. I worked in China with large high voltage switchgear, this high energy. And then 3 years ago, blockchain technology came up into my mind because these new smart grids, intelligent networks of energy could be also built on blockchain. And that's where I started. And that's where I saw, oh, wow. That's an interesting application. First, I thought, you know, my first impression of blockchain, I thought it's houses, you know, one block after that are connected.
Right,
that was my first idea of blockchain. And I said, blockchain, interesting. You connect the buildings. So actually, it's not. I learned that and very fast. And I understood that it's really, after reading this Satoshi paper, I really got I saw this magic. I saw the magic of this system. And I still feel it. When I talk about it, I still feel this, you know, goosebumps when I talk now. There is something special. And it's with energy blockchain, I work for the Austrian Research Fund. We fund projects. I had a budget for sustainable energy projects. And there we started with the first research project, which we could fund from governmental money to investigate what is possible. And that's what was my start. And then I learned more. And finally, now I'm kind of freelancer, call myself blockchain influencer. Maybe I really want to influence blockchains.
So what are some of the key problems that you believe blockchain can solve when it comes to energy today? You know, what are the lowest lying fruits that you're picking off the trees today?
What I see for energy blockchains, it's like we have a lot of new prosumers called producers and consumers at the same time of energy, like private houses having on their roof photovoltaic devices, solar energy devices, and especially with electricity, so photovoltaic devices, one can build not only Bitcoin right in the ledger, but you can also write kilowatt in this ledger. And you can also distribute. If houses have electricity, they can, and some are in the shadow, some are not, you can over hundreds of kilometers distribute energy and switch that on. This is done on a blockchain. You don't need a central utility who manages this, who also gets money for this, but this can be built on a technology where we trust this works. And but still, we're in the beginning. It doesn't work yet. It works with a few households. We have such labs, living labs, but it's on small scale now.
But really, if I can simplify it for my smaller brain, what you're trying to, well, what you're trying to do, I believe, is take excess. We have excess energy in our world today.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
and you're working towards redistributing not only energy, whether it's wind, solar, water power, and then the problems that we have with people that don't have water in the world, and maybe redistributing the wealth, so to speak, of that energy, whatever platform it sits on, to areas, even though they might not even be immediately related or directly near the source. Is that correct?
Yeah.
In theory?
Right. With energy, there is a limit in distance. You cannot transfer over you can, but you lose a lot of energy on the way. So for this energy, this was just a test lab with this energy to do. And there is a Austrian-based, German-based ICO. Actually, Vitalik Buterin was the advisor 3 years ago for this first blockchain project. Grid Singularity is the name. It's still running, and it's still investigating how this energy blockchain get done. There is a US-based KWH, like kilowatt hour, KWH, similar project. So there are some energy blockchain out where I see the return on society. It's not a humanitarian project, this one. This is more to try out a very specific field where it's really to try out blockchain, what is possible beyond cryptocurrencies. But for instance, this morning I was with Caritas Austria. Caritas is the Catholic Church humanitarian organization. They have in Austria 10,000 employees, so it's a big one. Yeah, they do a lot of home care and a lot of humanitarian health stuff. But they are also investigating. They are thinking about, what can we do with cryptocurrencies? Can we, receive funds via Bitcoins? Can we also transfer funds to Africa? What is possible with cryptocurrencies? Does this harm the brand of Caritas, which is really high value, or is it an added value? What's the risk? What if crypto goes, maybe have this bubble bursts? So there's still continue, but there are many humanitarian projects which are built on blockchain probably in future. There was Lala Land, for instance, was a refugee project for Myanmar refugees, the Rohingya minority. That's what I told the Caritas. I said, look, there are some projects already going on. United Nations has a blockchain commission for sustainable development. So they realize the potential. World Food Program does a project on not only transferring food, what they do at the moment, they transfer food, but there is a clear dedication also transfer money to give. I mean, people in need, they are not dumb, they are intelligent people.
Right.
And why not giving them money doing and they make the best self, and that also could be done with cryptocurrencies probably. That's what they think.
So let me Sarah, what I'm hearing is microfinance, humanitarian, sounds like you're going to sounds like you might meet with the Pope soon, because you were working with this Catholic organization. I mean, why not? Why not dream big?
Okay, Matt, just remind me, I'm advisor for, I tell you something, having a Jewish grandmother, I'm advisor for Islamic banking based in Malaysia, Hadadi Bank. And you know why? When I was even a teenager, I found in Quran this line very interesting. Don't use interest rates when lending money, when giving out money. That's in Quran, and I like that topic. And they asked me, Robby,
it is in the Bible too. Yeah.
It's right. In the Quran, it's very strict. You have a banking system built on it's called Islamic banking. It's nothing new. It's a very old system.
Right.
But there is an ICO which combines this Islamic banking, very 1,000-year-old idea of no interest rates, which even touched me as a teenager, combining with blockchain technology. And that I found really nice, because it's also, in Quran, you read this sharing, sharing economy. There is these profits made from the money should be shared at least. And that's really cool. And that on blockchain. So we don't, and yeah, and that's project I look, I'm advisor on several ICOs. Yes, I do that. It's my living also. I have to feed my kids and me myself to make a living. But I look very deep into what are they doing. Is it really just for making money, or is it just there is an application behind which makes sense? Because blockchain anyway, Bitcoin is criticized. Cryptocurrency, that is a hype. It's crazy and all this. We know this, yeah. But I think if we focus on applications which give a return on society, and there is hashtag return on society. I built that. That's a creation. I hope it will gain more attention in future. I'm preparing a book, by the way, on that. Will come out in summer. So we'll see. I hope people listen to that. But still, I focus on this project because I think that's where we also can reach a bigger crowd, not the 20 to 40-year-old nerdy male computer, this digital crowd, but maybe the rest of the people. That's an idea.
Well, that's why I'm here, because I'm beautiful and I'm not that smart.
Yes.
Versus,
you're very, very sexy.
So I'm.
Robby,
so I'm trying.
We're having our next guest actually later on today. Greg Kerr is going to be talking a lot about the energy and how we can use blockchain, I think, in the energy space. But what I think is something super specific to you that you can offer that maybe a lot of our other guests haven't been able to. A lot of what people are talking about in terms of what are the best things to invest in. One thing, of course, that they're talking about is that it's important to invest in things which they see having, financial potential, but also a lot of people in talking about looking at the white papers is finding projects that you do believe. And I think this is something that a lot of people who are into the crypto space are actually looking for, exactly what you're talking about, this return on society and novel ideas, things that could potentially change, the world we live in right now. And I noticed on your blog, there are a few coins and things that you believe do have this potential. And I think it's essential that we bring this up, like tell our audience, what are some of the things the coins that you really believe in, and why those, what do you see as the potential, implications of those coins?
Sarah, yes, there are some which I really find very interesting. One is Peculium. I'm also, dealing with people with artificial intelligence. That's artificial intelligence is maybe a new way we change the world. We have artificial intelligence and self-learning systems since a very long time, since 30, 40 years. It's nothing new, but we maybe have another era of this new technology. And there is a combination of blockchain technology with artificial intelligence could be very interesting. And there is a ICO which I really favor and very much support, is Peculium.io. They recently had their ICO, and there will this PCL coin token will be out there on Hit BTC. Hit BTC very soon, so that's where it's traded. So this Peculium has what they want to do. It's also kind of managing savings of people. So it's a artificially intelligence supported system which makes automatic trading decisions, but not this day trading type of thing. It's a long-term saving application which really makes sense. It's like it's for people who have some savings and would want to put it on a blockchain, or would put it on a bank. A blockchain, this application offers this. So there is some artificial intelligence support for making these savings more. And we will. There is already. They can do forecast with this Peculium already. With this Peculium, they do Bitcoin, for instance. They have Bitcoin rating forecast and Bitcoin development forecast, and it works to some extent. But they still develop it, and I think it could be a very interesting tool. Artificial intelligence on blockchain, and there are not many out there. By the way, I'm working on the landscape of artificial intelligence on blockchain. We will soon have this I do another round on Thursday. I work with artificial intelligence people to find the ICOs, blockchain projects on, and there are some more. So it's not Peculium, there are some more. There is this 0x Magnus and more. But Peculium is focusing on savings. By the way, Peculium doesn't say it's only for savings. They have even more the fantasies that there's also energy trading could be done on with blockchain, and even cancer research, that they have a health line too. But the first focus is savings. And the cancer research is really touched my heart also, because there is forecast, this health application is nice, is interesting. So there is more fantasy even.
So here's what I hear from this, right? The positive that comes out of this is people are able, that maybe don't have banks in locations where they are in the world. They have a token or a currency that they're able to save. And then via that saving vehicle that is secure and able to be then distributed, whether it's healthcare research, cancer research, energy, startups. I know you talk a lot about transportation, right? So whether that's transport of common, commodities and foods, right? That's a problem worldwide that most people don't recognize. So having blockchain associated with those types of businesses then allows for people really to truly put their money where their mouth is and put it into projects that have meaning in their lives immediately, right? Versus having to be an accredited investor and having to wait until you have $250,000, right? But hey, if you've worked hard and you've saved your money, which is half the problem, just being able to take capital and redistribute it, that wealth into other projects and help other projects. And then if possible, obviously there's returns from that personally. As you said, profit's not necessarily the main goal. It's the byproduct of the research. So I love the way that you're really spinning that. And it's really, I think it's a very holistic way of investing. And it's one that is not fraught with a lot of middle people taking a piece out of it.
Exactly. And Peculium, also the people behind it, they are artificial intelligence experts, also having worked at banks. So they have a banking background. There's a lot of expertise actually on big data, which are all necessary for this artificial intelligence to build on blockchain. So there is not only just the, idealists people, but they know what they're doing. And they have a clear schedule, what they do when to achieve. They had 24th of January was the closing of the ICO, the first round of the ICO, and there continues. Now they let larger investors in, and there is interest. I see that. So for me, it's a really good project. Another project is Sportify. It's not Spotify. If you Google it, it's hard. It's sports. It's about sports, and it's not the usual thing where you raise money for clubs and so on, but it's bringing young athletes together with investors directly on the blockchain. So young athletes, especially from countries which are not so, like in Austria, it's fine. But in other countries, in developing countries, this is a chance that people who are talented can have their sports career supported by investors directly. There's a direct link. Of course, this is not just blockchain, which is built on, but it needs people to follow up the process, because humans are involved. I mean, young, often teenager or late teenagers, they to support these careers very early, and this is a really nice way to actually get rid of the club to dominate this. And there was in Austria, Europe, this scandal with FIFA and then the world scandal on football, many bribing incidents and so on. And these
so in essence,
so
again, in essence, we can help young athletes who show potential with their athletics to change their lives via being the best that they can be in their sport. And maybe they make it to the big leagues or not, but the point is that positive relationship that sports, I know, has. I've got 4 children, and each of my kids play sports, and it is a positive learning life experience, whether or not they play pros. It doesn't matter. The team aspect, working with other people, different coaches, is such a positive thing that I find that fascinating, and thank you for telling us about Sportify, because I think
Sportify.
you know it's even a problem in developed countries. I know my children play lacrosse, and lacrosse is not widely played across the United States, let alone the world. Yet it's the fastest growing team sport in North America. So what if you could put a stick in the hands of children in Africa or you know, Slovenia or anywhere? If they had that opportunity to pick up a stick and play, you know, we'd probably see the next great one come out of something like that. So that's really cool. I love that.
Yeah. You see, it's because it's not a betting platform or investment increase, but it's bringing people who are interested in other people that they can support careers. That's really a nice aspect. That's where I see. Yeah, of course, there's many dangers and one can see of many problems. Yes, but the idea is nice. And of course, it needs a thorough follow-up. It needs a thorough supervision of what's going on here. That, but in principle, and Ronaldinho, by the way, Ronaldinho, the famous soccer player, football player, he supports this. His testimonial is not, obviously, it has already reached a certain level where people which are quite famous notice that, and they support it.
Yeah, well, because they know what athletics has done for their personal life, so they're totally going to support that. I get it. Yeah, and
of course,
talk a little bit about talk a little bit about the transport side of things. What's going on in transportation? Because I know you're involved with a couple ICOs on the transportation. What are some of the big ideas there that you really are excited about?
Actually, I don't favor a specific transport ICO now, but I had a look with Katja Schechner. She's from OECD. She is coordinating the transport activities. OECD is a well-known organization. They are all the big states are there. They do this rating standardization of transport, and also they give policy recommendations. It's a big organization, and this organization, OECD, like UN level. And she tries to coordinate blockchain activities across the globe on transport, on mobility. So we are first speaking about mobility of people. How could this build on blockchain? New apps where you directly buy kilometers, the famous last mile, for instance, where you can directly connect with the device. The service is transport. I want to be transport. I don't want to question myself, is it a train or bus, but I need the transport. And this blockchain application could, we don't see it yet, by the way, but could bring some advantages. We will see how this works. But there's also so it's for people. The other end of this scale is we have, for instance, Maersk, one of the largest
shipping company. Yeah.
They also realized, okay, we could follow up goods with blockchain, put it on blockchain. So a supply logistics company entering into blockchain tells me that they realize the potential, and it tells me there is a business. So we will see blockchain ICOs, we will see blockchain projects going on, which could lead in the long run to some business which makes sense. Another project, by the way, when we talk about transport logistics, it's an ICO which I favor very much. It's Winding Tree. Winding Tree is a travel app. It's a travel platform where where they try to actually provide the service which Booking.com does, and Check Felix and the other Opodo flights, these different flight booking platforms. So they try to provide a service on blockchain that you have directly a link between you yourself and the hotel owner. So no intermediary like Booking.com, which takes a fee again. 15%. 15%. So it's not nothing. Of course, running a blockchain will also cost. It's not for free, but it will definitely not cost 15%. That's for sure. Because the difference is then,
I'm just curious, if you say something like that, so people that already have those customers, wouldn't it be wise for somebody like Booking or Priceline to say, hey, well, why don't we come up with our own token and continue the business? Maybe we're not making as much, but we'll open it up to a much bigger marketplace worldwide, right? Benefit more people, and we would still profit because maybe we're only doing it with certain segments of the world economy today. That would be. Do you see crossovers of that, kind of an old company, new company happening? No. Okay.
Really, I mean, we see this with letters, mail companies, state-owned. Who did they enter the internet business ever? I mean, did they support email? I haven't heard about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's very clear. I rarely see that. Of course, banks now contact me sometimes. Yeah, large banks. Yesterday I had lunch. Sorry. Oh yeah. So I had a phone call.
So bank contacted you yesterday. Yeah.
Yes. No, they say, oh, Robby, Mr. Schwertner, we have heard that you're into this blockchain business, and we have to have a use case, and the customer they ask, and they, I'm sorry, I have to, and they say. They ask me, what could we do? Because we need use cases. Our shareholders, they ask, the CEOs ask.
The board, the board is asking. Yeah.
Yes, board, definitely. C-suite arcs. So I tell them, of course, what I always tell, because do something which helps people, which makes sense for the society. Try to have a use case, not with, of course, many users involved at the end, but not so many transaction rates. Slow, not too many transactions at the moment, because the systems are not built for that yet. We see the difficulties. So many users, not many transactions, and then something which helps. Maybe a second bank, for instance, for people who have no account, but then they would have an account on their phone, at least a free account. So that would make sense. And other, there could be many other things, but they are really in trouble. They have these old structures, these banks, insurance companies, and so on. Another ICO I really like is the InjaPal. It's Insurance Pal, InjaPal. They have a really clever system of trustees involved, endorsers. So what happens? They, for instance, for a certain take a car insurance. Yeah, it costs maybe $1,000 to insure a car per year, and then you can act as trustee. For instance, and then I said, okay, I will not. I talked to the founder, Matt Peterman, and I said, yeah, but I will not try. I mean, why should I be an endorser for somebody? And I said, yeah. And then I actually thought, okay, maybe for my daughters, because they maybe don't drive so much. It could make the insurance cheaper per year.
Right.
But if something happened, and they calculated from 1,000, maybe it makes €250 or US dollar cheaper, and then if something happened, you have to pay 300, 400.
So you and I become the annuitized backing of the insurance, again, cutting out that fat that the insurance companies have built into it.
It's not only the fat. The idea is InjaPal, really nice, and they had the ICO. I will tell you later. But first, what happened is you have first not the big insurance taking all the money away for the advertising, but you have a new system of risk management, because maybe I don't have a son, but if I would have a son, if it's like me, I would never be an endorser, because he drives like crazy and he would crash.
I have 3 of them. I know.
Oh yeah. So you bring as a person, as participant, new level of risk management, trust into the system, because you know your people around. And if you do this with a friend, endorsing for a friend, they can endorse you back. And this is not only linked to insurance, but maybe to lending money to other things then. So this system of endorsers could be used more widely. And what happened? They had an ICO, it ended mid-January, somewhere around there. They had in 80 seconds, not 80 days, 80 seconds, they got the hard cap with $18 million US, 18 million in 80 seconds. And that showed, and I called Matt the day, I congratulated him and said, and Robby, we had 120 million in the pipeline. Of course, there was some double, but we had this in the pipeline. They wanted to come in. They screamed at that they cannot come in now. And they say, but we don't need the money for the first stage. We have to develop the first system. And then for the next system, we need the next money. It's also nice to say for somebody who develops something, we don't need the whole money. That's really good. And
that's great.
And that's what they are. They're really nice people. Matt is from the insurance business. He worked in this anti-fraud actually in a large insurance company. So he knows anti-fraud unit. So he's an expert on that. And Tom is the IT expert. So a good team. And they have a great team now. They're doing that.
That is really cool. I like that. I really like that idea. And again, we've talked to a number of people that have said you've got to bring scale projects that don't need, as you said, high transactions, not right away, but high users, low number of transactions. So that gives Sarah. I mean, don't you think that makes a lot of sense for like the progress of what we're seeing here? I mean, to me, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, of course. And it's interesting because I would say for me, in terms of the things that I've invested in, also, I'm not somebody that really even at this point has time to be trading all the time or figuring out what's going up and down. So I also am mostly invested in projects that I think have value long term. And one of them, in fact, is Populous is very similar, I think, to what you're talking. Like you're saying, lending platforms and like this idea, this concept of peer-to-peer lending or even peer-to-business lending is. I mean, obviously, I am a big believer in that. I think this is a revolution for people in general, that we can participate in the economy in a way that we've never been able to before.
Right.
Also,
yeah.
So, Robby,
I just wanted to ask really quick, just for my own self, the first one that you talked about, which it has like kind of a strange name, begins with a P.
Yeah. Peculium.
Yeah. What's the acronym for it? Does it have
PCL?
PCL.
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 All right.
I'm definitely.
PCL.
Hey, Robby.
Peculium.
Robby, I want to hold us to task and keep us to the time that we committed to you. So.
Peculium. Can you read it?
Yeah. PECULIUM. Got it. I got it. Hey, Robby, thank you for coming on. I want to hold us accountable to the time. Make sure we're doing our jobs. And I will ask you. Yeah, and I will ask you in the future if I'd love to have you back on and talk again, because this is so fascinating, so fast moving. Our listeners are going to love this. This is the type of thing, what you're giving us, that people don't understand. It's the level that they need to hear. So I don't know. Again, I know I'm not speaking for Sarah. I'm speaking for myself, but I loved what I heard you talk about today. I'm super excited. So
thank you very much.
For those listening, it's at CryptoRobby, and you can check out his blog at it's CryptoRobby.
.blog.
Yeah. Super easy.
CryptoRobby.blog, CryptoRobby.com. It's everywhere.
Just Google CryptoRobby.
And my home actually is LinkedIn. Interestingly, LinkedIn. I became kind of big. LinkedIn, 30,000 followers there.
I see you're maxed out. You're maxed out. Conversation about that. But I also definitely, please let us know. I'm not sure if your book is going to be #Return on Society, but whenever your book does come out, please let us know. We'd love to.
We want to talk about that book when it comes out. Definitely. We want to have you on again when you're ready.
And honestly, your enthusiasm is completely contagious. So I look forward to talking to you again soon.